Pay close attention to this video. A couple was walking with their daughter when a woman arrives and tells the officer next to her that this was her daughter, but the man said he didn't know what she was talking about and the little girl says that wasn't her mother. The officer asks if the woman was lying to him, but at that moment, another little girl appears and hugs the woman. Everyone is surprised to realize that the two kittens were identical. The man's wife asks what was going on there, so the man asks who those people were. The woman says that she didn't know what was going on either, as when her daughter gave birth to two children, they only gave one of the children to her, as her daughter ended up dying in childbirth. The woman says she knew those two children were sisters and that the man's daughter also had a birthmark on her neck. When they realized that this was true, the wife says that this was her daughter and no one would take her away. The woman then said that she would go to the hospital to find out what had happened that day, but the man says that this was his daughter and that no one would take her away. The woman says that they wanted to have her granddaughter back, but the wife says that this was their daughter and that she would not take her away from them. As they leave, the woman asks the officer if he would do anything since he was standing there. He then said that unfortunately he couldn't do anything since that wasn't the woman's granddaughter, but the woman says that was her granddaughter. Meanwhile, the wife was telling the man that they should see what was going on, but the man said that he didn't want to know what was going on and that they should leave. The wife says that she wanted to know what was going on, as the girls were identical, but the man says that the woman was crazy and that they shouldn't pay attention to it. The wife then said that they were identical and that the man should be more concerned about it because she wanted to know what was going on there. The man said that his wife shouldn't worry about it, because when they saw his wife's pregnancy ultrasound, there was only one child and there couldn't be two. The wife then says that she would go to the hospital to find out what had happened, even if her husband did not go with her. He then tells her not to go to the hospital as she would ruin everything, but she said she needed to know because she was his daughter. He tells her not to worry about it and hugs her. The woman then arrives at the doctor and she realizes that the lady was already there. The doctor then asks if he could help the women. The woman then asks, what were the lady doing there, and the lady says she wanted to know what was going on. The lady then tells the doctor that she was there, as she wanted to talk to him about what had happened to her daughter. She says that her daughter's medical record had the doctor's name on it. The woman says that her daughter's file also had the doctor's name on it. This makes the lady angry and says that she didn't want to be interrupted while she was talking to the doctor. The lady then tells the doctor that 6 years ago her daughter came here to the hospital to give birth to twin daughters. Unfortunately, her daughter couldn't resist the birth and eventually passed away. The lady says that unfortunately, she ended up returning home with only one of her granddaughters and wanted to know about what had happened that day. She says that this was very strange, as she had just met another girl who was identical to her granddaughter and who had the same birthmark. She asks the doctor if he could tell them what really happened that day. He then says he would tell them the whole truth. He said that unfortunately, on the day the lady's daughter went to give birth, she ended up not resisting. He says that, unfortunately, it also happened to the woman's daughter and she was born lifeless. He said he was sorry for what he had done, as he had studied hard to be in the position he held that day. He says that, unfortunately, he ended up seeing the lady's file and realized that she would not be able to take care of two children. He says it would be impossible for her due to the financial condition she and her husband had at the time. Hearing this, the woman becomes furious with the doctor and asks if her daughter really died. The lady then interrupts the woman and asks if the doctor had really taken one of her granddaughters and given it to the woman without her permission. He says he did it and apologizes, but he says he only did what he did so the kids could have a better life. The lady then says that the doctor could not have done that to her, because he should have asked her permission before doing that. The lady then tells the woman that now everything was clear, that those children were actually her granddaughters and there is no daughter of the woman. The woman says that she had understood what had happened and the lady says that now she wanted her granddaughters back. The woman then asks the doctor if anyone else knew about it. The doctor then says that on that day, the man came to him asking what had happened. He said he didn't understand what was happening as he had been told his wife had lost their daughter, but when he went to the bedroom, she was holding a child. The doctor then tells the man that he will explain what had happened. At this point, the man arrives in the room and the wife tells him that she didn't want to talk to him because he had done something very bad to her. He then apologizes to her, saying that unfortunately, all he wanted to do was make everyone happy, but that, by coincidence, the woman's daughter had died and so had his daughter. The woman then says that it wasn't fair to her, as she ended up losing her daughter and granddaughter on the same day. She says that now she wanted to be together with her granddaughter and that all that mattered to her was this. The man then says that he knew the consequences of his actions, but that now his wife was very sad that she had to let their daughter go. He then tells his wife that they should leave, but his wife leaves alone very sad. He then goes to his wife and tells her that he did it so she could be happy. He said that all he was thinking about was her well-being, but that he ended up ruining it and apologizes for it. She then says that her husband had let her daughter go once and that now he was doing it again. She said that because of this, she could never forgive her husband. He then says that he knew he had wronged his wife and that he was trying to get everything sorted out, but that he was just trying to make his wife happy. She then asked her husband what he thought they should do now, since everything that had happened made her very sad. He then said that they could try to make another child, but she is furious when she hears that. She says it wasn't easy to replace a son and that he must have been thinking it was like changing clothes, but that wasn't how it worked. He then apologizes for what he had said and says that he just didn't want to go to jail. She then says that, unfortunately, she had lost her daughter 2 times and that now she didn't know what else to do. He says that, unfortunately, he didn't know what to do either, but that they should let the girl go with her grandmother, as that was the right thing to do. He says that time would help them get through it and hugs his wife. They then go back into the living room and tell the woman that they had made a decision and that they were going to let the girl go back to her grandmother. The man says that unfortunately it would be very difficult for them and that he didn't want to do that, but that they should let the girl go with her grandmother, because as much as it is painful for them, he is sure that it would be even more painful for the woman to be without her granddaughter. The woman then tells them that she had made a very difficult decision. She says that she was going to let the girl stay with her parents and that they were her parents. She said she wouldn't want the girl to break up of those who took such good care of her for so long and that she would just stand at a distance, taking care of her. She says that she tried to be a mother to her granddaughter, but that she knew that it was really hard and that she hoped that they could continue to do the good work they were doing, but that she had one condition. She said she wanted to be a part of the girl's daughter's life and that she wanted to be there whenever possible. The man is very happy about it and says that he would be very happy if the woman was part of theirs, since she was the grandmother of his daughter. He said he knew it would be a very good thing for his daughter. The woman says that sometimes bad things happen, but that these bad things can turn into good things, and then she thanks the nurse for telling him the truth.